But I want to start with this. A lot of people talking about Aaron Rodgers' comments. And I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that you're going to have people who, and there's a little bit of Dan Snyder to it, right? Where I agree that Dan Snyder was running a ship with the then Washington Redskins, Washington football team, now Washington Commanders. He was running a team which, the stuff they had going on in the front office was bad. Okay, was bad. But what happens is, my belief is initially, and people didn't like Snyder for the charging for training camp, but it's his business. He's allowed to do it. There were other things that were done that people didn't like. I get it. But what really started the energy towards him losing the team was the nickname fight and his level of defiance. And that everything that could be deemed to be negative in any way comes out and gets put on him. And it supercharges people in the media. Look, this has happened with President Trump. It has. I don't believe, I think it is awful that he said the media is the enemy of the United States. What are you talking about? A free press is part of the fabric of what makes our country great. I would also say that if we're fair and if we're honest, because he has said these, what I think are terrible things about many of our media brethren, calling legitimate news stories fake news, making it kind of popular. But what happens is it does energize people to find any little thing they can to try and expose him as a bad guy and a bad president. And sometimes it gets to be a little bit too much. And I think for Aaron Rodgers, he's always been arrogant. He's always been aloof. He's always been different. He's always said things differently to the media than maybe most conventional quarterbacks would say. But I would also be honest in that there's a lot of people that are media brethren that how he handled the whole COVID thing last year and the lying to the media and then he blamed the media. Blame the media for not asking harder questions. Come on, dude. So I do think that energizes people. But this one he's done to himself. This is Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee's show.
How do you go about watching a game like the Commanders to correct it for going forward? And what did you see out of yourself against the Commanders?
Yeah, judge everything. Every play, my own performance, all of it. I mean, this was my highest graded game by Tom, which people would be maybe surprised to hear.
So that was hey, we're all in this together. We all need to get better. I just want to point out I actually played really, really well. Per our coach. Not my own opinion, per Tom Clements, my quarterback coach. I admit it, he did it. That's what Aaron Rodgers is doing. And you can say all the exact same things he said and avoid that part of it and come out as a leader. But once you go to that place, it hurts your ability to lead. It doesn't mean that you can't, behind closed doors, go fellas, look, I'll take every bullet for you. Okay, but I actually, Coach, I actually played well. You guys, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know where we're supposed to be. You can even use way more terse language. You can avoid those guys. I don't want to talk to them. They upset me so much. All of this stuff. But when I actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually graded out really well. Clemens said that, Tom said that was my best grading of the year. This is Rodgers talking about his teammates maybe needing less reps.
It's definitely not just one play here or there. Like I said, it's 20% of the time. If we have 50 plays and we have 10 mental missed assignments or mental errors, that's 20% of the time. So that's way too high. In the past, we're looking more like at less than 10%. So it gives us a really good chance to be successful. 20%, that's too high. that's one play a series where you're really making it tough on yourself. So we got to fix that, and whatever that is, I think guys who are making too many mistakes shouldn't be playing. We got to start cutting some reps, and maybe guys who aren't playing, give them a chance.
I mean, look, I don't mind any of it. I think we can nitpick it and say, well, is he calling out LaFleur here? Hey, give guys an opportunity that aren't getting the reps. All of that stuff. But how you have to word it, okay, how you have to word it, whether you want to say football players are sensitive or they're listening with rabbit ears, is you have to say me too. I have to be better. We. Which he does say we, but by saying, hey, I graded out the best, he's kind of separating himself. Just, hey, all of us, I got to be better. I got to be a better leader. I got to help them understand we got to cut down these mental errors. There's not a ton of negativity. There's not a waving of the white flag. There's not a we're not good enough. There's none of that, which is great. So I'm not sitting here telling you what he did was deceitful, what he did was awful, what he did was incredibly divisive. But you can hear in that one mention of how he graded out and in ways in which he follows up and discusses the team and their flaws, he's basically saying, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm working with incompetent people. Find some people that are competent so that we can win because they're holding us back. I'm not. And that's not leadership. And I think this is his attempt to appear to be a leader. Hey, look, I didn't have any negativity towards what I said. I'm not asking for perfection, but we got to clean some stuff up. All of what he's saying is fine. It doesn't land like leadership.